Okay, so let's now see how we can animate the eyes, the mouth, and the brows in our face node. So first of all, let's call our second renderer function, which is going to be did update. So did update, and in here you can see we have did update SCN node for anchor. And in here we do need to make sure that our anchor is the face anchor. So guard let face anchor equals our anchor as AR face anchor. So otherwise just return we don't want to know about it. But now we've got access to our face anchor. What we can do is to update it, and we are going to create a new function that's going to update our face with the face anchor. So update face with, and that's going to be our face anchor, like so. That's what we are going to pass. So let's create that function in here. Let me make some space. So func update face with, so it's going to be with face, and the face is going to be an AR face anchor, like so. And we open the function. Cool. So actually I can call this face anchor. I think that's going to be better. Cool. So now we have access to a face anchor. And if you look into it, you will see that you've got blend shapes. So here I'm going to call this let blend shapes equals face anchor dot blend shapes, and these are the ones that we want to animate. So in the blend shapes we will have a lot of different shapes that are on your face, so your mouth, your right eye, your left eye, etc. And we need to look for them into our blend shape, and we need to reference them and create them. So in order to do this, we can actually do a guard let, and for example we will have eye right, which is going to be equal to our blend shapes, and in here I'm going to look for dot, and you can see here we've got all the different blend shapes that you can look for, and there's a ton. There's like 50 something. I think it's a little bit overwhelming, but let's create the first one together. So this one is actually going to be an eye blink right, and I'm just going to do eye blink R, and in here let's just look for it. So dot eye blink right, this is the one. Cool. And that we want to make sure that we can have this as a float, so it's going to be a coefficient from 0 to 1. So we basically want to know if the right eye is blinking. If it's not blinking, it's going to be 0. If it's completely blinking, which is really closed, that's going to be 1. And ARKit is going to give us a range of coefficients from 0 to 1, and return what it can see from the camera 60 times per second. So if we can cast this as a float, then we're good to go. and we can start creating our other shapes. Now in here, because I don't want you to look at me typing for an hour, I'm just going to paste them all, and you can either copy and paste from the resource file, or you can type them one by one if you want, but I tell you right now, it is actually quite time consuming. So first of all, you have everything we need to track for the eyes, and here we go. We have blink left, look in left, look in right, look out left, right, look down and look up. Okay, so it looks in all directions and it checks if the eye is closed or open. But we're not done here, we only have done the eyes so far, so what I need to do now is the same for the mouth. So for the mouth here, I'm going to paste all of these coefficients. So mouth close coefficient, mouth pucker coefficient. Is the mouth on the left, on the right? Is it frowning or smiling? Is it stretching? And is the jaw open? The jaw open is actually very important and goes with the whole mouth kind of thing. And obviously we just need now to apply the brows. So, well, with the brow we have three kinds. So we've got our brow inner up, which is up and down, as I was showing you, which includes both left and right brows. And then we have brow down left and brow outer left and right, obviously. Right, so now that we have all of these, you can remove the last comma and say that else return. So if it hasn't created any, or if it's not able to create all of these things, which obviously we are not using right now, but it will come. So let's just make sure there's a comma here, so those should disappear. But all we have now is warnings because we haven't used any of those. And this is what we are going to do now. However, to do this, obviously we need to get a reference of our mouth and eyes, etc. So if I create the mouth, we can look inside of our face node and look for a child node. So child node with a name of mouth. So make sure this is the exact same thing that you are naming in here in our face.scn. So in here I'm going to reference the mouth, the brow, then left and right, and in here I don't care about white and high and the hat, just eye left and eye right. And you see I've got camel case here. That's going to be very important as well. We don't care about the head either. That's not something we're going to track because it just moves as the AR anchor node moves. So if I go back in here, so we've got the mouth recursively, yes, true. So look through. If you don't find it, go deeper. Now we've got let eye right, let eye left, let brow, actually without a capital letter, let brow right, the T, and let brow left. Okay, so in here, let's just copy this and paste it everywhere and just rename those basically. So we have our eye right, so copy and paste, eye left, paste, brow, look for the brow node, brow right, right, brow left, and left. All right, good. So now that we've got our nodes and the coefficients, we can start to apply some magic on the scale of those things. So if we look at the mouth first, for example, well, we can create our own coefficient based off the other coefficients that we can find. So here, let's just say that let's comment that we are going to update the mouth, and first we are going to look at the position of the mouth. So mouth dot position dot x, and in here we have our mouth, so left and right. So what we can do here is to have mouth left minus mouth right, and if we get this coefficient, and I found that divided by 40 should give us a good enough rate. So what I'm doing here is that I'm moving just for 1, 2, 3 centimeters on the left or on the right if my mouth has moved. So let's just see if this works, and then if that works we can accelerate a little bit and change more than just one thing in our face node. You can see that if I move my head so and my mouth on the left, I can't actually talk when I do this. Left, right. Okay, this is working. This is great. So now what I need to do is to show you how to animate everything else, and I'm probably gonna just yeah, I'm gonna call this a video, and I see you in the next video to animate everything else. Stay tuned.